back to the homestead. So glad you came to see us. Well, it's a cold, dreary morning this morning, and you may notice that my mouth and my words are not matching up. Well, it's because we have some new microphones, and one of the new microphones didn't get tested. So we're going to go on out to the shop right now anyway, and we're going to go check on the mouse trap, make sure that it's working, rebait it, and get it ready to go. This is going to be a little bit like watching a foreign movie dubbed in English, where the mouths and the words on the face don't match up. But please bear with me. The reason I'm out here to rebait the trap is it hasn't been set in quite a while. And the reason for that was the kittens, when they were tiny. They were small enough they could actually accidentally get inside the trap, and we didn't want them to get hurt. So this particular trap is an electronic trap. We like it a lot. In fact, we liked it enough that we bought another one. So with this trap, it needs to be rebaited because even peanut butter loses its scent after a while. So that's one of the first things we're going to do is take out the old bait and clean it up. This is the bait area where you put the bait in the trap, and you can see the old peanut butter there. And this section right there is the electroplate that electrocutes the critter that gets in there. It's supposed to be a pretty sane way to off them. Anyway, I need to get that cleaned up and cleaned out, and then we'll get on with rebaiting it. This is the area where the bait goes. You just slide it in there, just like that. This is just a protective cover to keep the critter from turning it off. Okay, that takes care of the trap. I need to find a place for it. Like I'd mentioned earlier, I'm probably going to put it up on one of the shelves just off the ground, because we did find evidence of rat, mouse, whatever activity up on the shelves off the ground. I guess they want to stay away from danger too. And we'll also keep it out of the immediate reach of the kittens. One of the things that we saw was a gap between the floor and the wall, and we've been considering putting foil tape down. The foil tape will resist the critters from trying to chew their way through. They don't like the taste of metallic. Anyway, we'll probably just have to move on to something else now. The trap's all done, so let's go see what else we can do. The next thing I have to do today is work on the garage building right behind me. What's happening is the walls are pulling apart at the bottom. They're not attached to the blocks, and they're separating, which is causing an alignment issue with the doors. Plus, it's just not a good sign for the building. This is one of the first buildings that we built on the property, and we were new to the process, so we're paying the price of that. If you look earlier on in our videos, you'll find a video of us trying to fix a problem. The problem was that the pier blocks had sunk in the ground and the building dropped. Well, when we built this building, we didn't put a sill plate on the bottom of it. So in this video, you'll see us jack the building up, take treated 4x4s, and put them down all the way around underneath the building. Quite the process. It was messy, but we did get it done. Now the building just sits on the blocks. Because of that, over time, opening and closing the doors, what have you, the bottom corners have walked out a little bit, which does mess with the door alignment. And I'm afraid it's just not going to be good for the building overall. So what I need to do is hammer some nails in the two corners, and then take a come along and pull the building back together, and ultimately tie it together with something permanently. or at least temporarily, so we can get the building to sit right and we can move on to other things. For now, we just need to hammer those nails in the corners, pull it back together, and try to get it stabilized so that it stops separating. How's it going for you so far? Like watching a Chinese movie? With English dubbing? Anyway, let's get on with trying to fix this building. Apparently, this is not my come along. This is probably the come along I brought back from my father-in-law's house after he passed away. I'm having some serious troubles with this thing, and you're going to see me struggle with it for quite some time before I finally give up and go try and find my come along, which I know works. And of course, this come along is too short. So I'm going to have to go get a couple of truck straps, loop them in on the ends to make it long enough. Okay, after checking the measurements, the wall's pulled in just fine and everything lines up. The problem I'm having now is when I release the come along, the walls spread back out. So I'm going to have to pull it together a little tighter to see if it will stay. every time I pull the building in and release the come along, it spreads back out. I'm going to have to figure out some way to keep that from happening. But when I pull it in, I'm not really worried as much about the outside measurements as I am the door gap and how the doors function, and they don't get pinched. This building is kind of a hot mess because it is one of the first ones we built, and we did have all the problems early on with the pier block sinking and all of that. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to have to do ultimately to get it to stay once I pull the bottoms together. But I do know in everything that I do, I have to keep in mind that the kittens use a hole underneath the front door as kind of an emergency entrance to get in and out. More to get in if they're getting chased by animals or something like that. There can't be anything in the way to block them from being able to go in the building. So ideally, I would like to shoot it back into the concrete with the hooky gun, but I can't. They don't make nails long enough to go all the way through the 2x4s and the 4x4s and into the concrete. What I may have to do is drill a big recess in the 4x4 to shorten the distance between the wood and the concrete and get a longer stud and shoot it in that way. Or another idea, that one that Brenda came up with, was bore a hole all the way through and possibly either use like a red head lag screw or a piece of rebar and hammer it into the concrete. But now that I have the building pretty much where it needs to be, it needs to stay, I'm going to probably just attach a board on the bottom, on the inside, to hold it in place until we can get around or come up with a better solution to hold the bottom corners together. It may wind up being wood in the long run. If that's the case, what I'll do is pull it back together with a come along, get everything set exactly how I like it, and then recess a board underground or in the ground between the two corners to hold it together. It'll also still allow, or we'll have to make some allowance for the kittens to get in and out in case there is an emergency and they need to get in. We have one entrance door from the front yard, and there needs to be more than one way for all of those kittens to get in a hurry in case they're being chased by critters. Okay, well, that problem is taken care of for now. Thank you for watching. God bless you. We'll see you next time on the homestead. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell.